So family well-being, when you look at the report, and I think we've all touched on this, regardless of what area of focus, and we have both short-term, urgent needs that we need to meet, as well as longer-term needs, we have to start from a place of recognizing the inequities, the disparities, the disproportionate impacts of the pandemic on our communities. And I think that's part of why we're all here today. When you think about the question that I think has come to light through the news for more people across this country and in this county of late, it's who's really holding up the economy. When you think about what makes the engine move forward and we think about economic recovery, it's truly our essential workforce. And as has been well highlighted, we know in Marin who the essential workers are. A large part of what many of us here do, and certainly what Community Action Marin does, is help to support the economy by providing needed childcare services, 0 to 5 and beyond, to school age, to help people get to school and to work. Because without childcare, and if you think about what the needs are across the county, number one might be housing, often is housing. Number two is certainly childcare, or right up there. People need that, our economy needs that to function. And what we want to do is be able to provide the intersection for family well-being of necessary direct services, childcare services and supports, and social services more broadly to ensure that families are strong and able to attain self-sufficiency and beyond, but that the intersection with public health and social services too becomes stronger, that we can function as a system of supports to help alleviate the causes and consequences of poverty in our community. And again, as we've been touching on, it takes the direct work that we may do through service provision each and every day, but it also takes our stepping up and into a space of advocacy for ourselves, for others, and for our community. Family well-being also highlights in that intersection the space that I think too through the pandemic became well illustrated and more well known and more removed from stigma, which is mental health. Mental health elevated because of the stress and anxiety when those services weren't provided or when the insecurity around housing wasn't there. So we know at the core and the heart, and we recognize the racial inequity in the county, the income disparities, people at the center drives everything else and will get us to a viable recovery. The other piece that's incredibly important to highlight and touch on, emphasize, is the urgent, immediate need to pay our early childhood workforce. And we know, you can applaud because we need to do it. We know that the work of caring, regardless of profession, but the work of caring is undervalued and underpaid, and traditionally the work of women and women of color. And through the pandemic, we saw the true cost of childcare increase 47%, without any corresponding degree of increase to wages. And what are we facing now within the sector? An incredible shortage of staff, of teachers qualified to help support families in well-being and help support our economy. So the longer term strategies are there to build the coalitions around early childhood education that we need, but we must meet the immediate needs to pay our people, and that requires the partnerships and advocacy at the local level, advocacy at the state level, and certainly the federal, but we have to start in our own backyard. Thank you.
And finally,